This is a rugged speaker model that I bought a few years ago. It's made by a company designed in California, made in China. Fugoo. Fugoo. I don't know how you name this speaker. I will spell it right on the video title. And this video is going to give you a fix, a quick fix, without you having to take this one apart and take the board out like I did. So I did the hard work by taking this one out, the battery out, the speakers out, the PC board out. And in order to take the PC board out, you need to take the battery out, the other speakers, and there is a speaker there that if you take out, it allows you to remove the board. So that's in case you want to repair something else. If you are good with electronics, probably you don't need my advice. This is not a complex repair, especially if I give you the fix for this particular case. So how it behaved. So I was listening music, and at some point I could hear the voice prompt saying Bluetooth disconnected, Bluetooth connected, Bluetooth disconnected. So it was going on and off randomly. It was not something that had a pattern. And my assumption was that the Bluetooth button was dirty. That's kind of a common thing into the electronics I repair for work. And so that's the reason I took it apart on the first time. I cleaned the switch, I washed it. It did not help. And today I took it apart and I shortened the switch, the micro switch, the pins. So I went with the wire straight there, hoping that is going to show me that the switch has to be replaced. So I pressed hard, hold it, nothing happened, and I did not get the prompt telling me it's connected. So I'm pressing the power button, and first after getting the prompt power on, I would get the prompt Bluetooth disconnected. So I thought maybe the switch is shorted or something. It was kind of a strange behavior. So again, took the board out, and while I took the board out, I could hear the Bluetooth prompt on and off. I said, "Oh, something is losing on the board." But when you take the board out, look at the board and see everything is tight. Everything is like well made. It's nothing that is like another extra board with a connector, flex cable. The only flex cable you'll find in here. So if you take this board out, you just have to be careful that the microphone has a flex cable into a connector behind the board. Let's see if I can show it to you. No, probably don't. I don't have to show it to you, but you will find it if you really want to take this one apart. But if you have that Bluetooth problem, you don't have to take it out. Last night I went online, and or maybe today I went online and I read some answers on some websites, like one is iFixit or something, um, which was not the right answer for my particular problem here. People were asking the question how to fix my Bluetooth connection. My Bluetooth keeps disconnecting. So some people suggest that you need to press the Bluetooth button and the action button 10 seconds, and it will reset your Bluetooth connection. Other people go into some rabbit hole telling you about some Microsoft drivers for your computer or something. This is not my particular case. So I tried those combination of buttons. I tried two buttons here, three buttons here, holding 10 seconds, 20 seconds with a button, combination button, Bluetooth, power. I tried everything. I thought the technicians or the engineers who designed the whole assembly put some hidden code into the firmware, allowing them to troubleshoot and maybe get some voice prompt about, you have this problem or something, or who knows. I was hoping miracles, and yeah, it did not fix anything. But like I said, when I took it out, I could hear some sort of intermittent connection, making that voice prompt to announce Bluetooth on and Bluetooth off. And I thought. So what can be? What can be? So I'm looking at the board, nothing obvious, and I forgot what tools you need. So in order to get to this point, you need some Torx screwdrivers. Okay, so I'll give you the colors here. Uh, I'm using some glue, but not glue, a gasket maker, because I want to prevent the water to get in. So this one has the gaskets made by the factory, but they come out. So if you take this one apart, those gaskets are not really gaskets. It's kind of they use some sealant to create a gasket. They use factory gasket maker, but it's not really a gasket that you pull out. You see like a O-ring or some rubber gasket, and you can put it back together. Some stuff is like that maybe, but I would not rely on that. So I will use some gasket maker, and I already have some grease there, so the gasket maker will come out next time if I really want to take this one apart. I hope I don't have to. And so let's say if in your case the accessory jack is the problem, like in my case, and I'll show you how I fixed it. You can try with a 3.5 millimeter jack, plug it in, use some contact cleaner, spray inside of the auxiliary input jack, and that might fix your jack if it's dirty or it's intermittent connection at the jack switch. But the problem on my speaker was the jack switch. So in my case I had to take it apart because I didn't know what was the problem. So but now I give you the fix. And among other tools, what you need, if you're an impatient person, you need a sledgehammer. So why? Because the impatient people tend to lose the patience, right? So they don't have it. Probably they lost it in the past. It's around the shop, around the bench, around their office, around the house. So they can't find the patience, and the easiest fix for them is to take the sledgehammer, and one hit will put this one on the side forever. So they don't need to fix it, right? That's kind of a helps with peace of mind, with mental state, emotional state. So I met a bunch of those impatients, including drivers and stuff, and yeah, I think emotionally it's easier when they use the correct tools for their mindset. Okay, but I'm a patient guy, and I don't need to use that one. I use proper tools for this type of work. So in case you don't want to take this one apart, and in case you want to say thank you for the quick fix, then you take the speaker out. So you need to take the screws out. Of course, first you take this halves out with one of the Torx screwdriver. Take this one out. Then there is a pair of speaker covers, so you can't access the speakers unless you take these covers out, and you use the smaller screwdrivers, the Torx. And once you have that one out, so you don't have to take this side out. You don't have, because you need to access here only. So you take the 4 screws that hold the speaker in place, so 4 screws here with the Torx. Pull this one out, and of course you can disconnect the blue speaker connector, so they are color coded, and is nice design. Really, I like it. Made in China, but is taught in California. And on this side of the PC board, so again, you don't have to take the PC board out. I took it out in order to get to that easy fix. But most of the time, the troubleshooting is the time consuming and brain burning and frying, not the fixing. That's why technicians charge you money when they troubleshoot stuff that they don't have experience in. So every time you repair something in your house or in your car or something, go to those who have experience exactly in that problem. So they won't monkey around spending hours and hours trying to find the problem, replacing parts, and charging you money for that time they spend. So, so you rather pay someone hourly rate, let's say $100 something hourly rate instead of $60 other the cheaper guys charge, but the cheaper guy will spend 3 times the time to get to the problem. When you go to the experienced guy, he will charge you only 1 hour service and he knows that problem and he fix the problem, and you get cheaper and better quality work because that guy won't break anything. So the same thing here. I spend the time to troubleshoot so you don't have to. Of course I did it for myself, but I want to share it. So I figured that the switch that's built into this connector was faulty. So how I did that, I just with a battery connected, right, and one speaker connected, I just but of course in my case when the board was out, I just shorted the switch side of this auxiliary connector and I could hear the prompt, the Bluetooth prompt. So I said, oh yeah, so the guys, the designers, they made this one that when you plug into a auxiliary source 3.5 millimeter jack into here, it will tell the controller, the microcontroller built into this board will tell to disconnect the Bluetooth radio. So that was the idea behind that. So in my case, maybe when I went kayaking or something, some ocean salt water got into this one, did some corrosion. I have no idea. I said, you know what, I am not going to order this part, and we'll just make a jumper here, and that's it. So that was my quick fix, and now the it's just one speaker. That's why it's so faint, because that speaker is probably the high. Yeah, so the music comes from my phone, the one I'm using to record. So that's the quick fix in my case, and I'm going to use some gasket maker, so I hope I won't have to take it apart. Take care, bye bye.